Recording.
Alright. Sige. Tapos, no, pag in-edit na, dito napapasok yung yung musical scoring, this part.
Yes.
Sir Jay, may shot clock. Tayo ngayon, ha?
Alright, let's do this.
No copyrighted music.
Yes. Let's do this. Who the heck are we? Well, that's what we're going to find out in a few minutes as we discuss sports like we are really involved in it. But because in some ways, we really are. But at the end of the day, people will still ask, who the heck are we? Claudia, kamusta?
Okay naman. I'm waiting for your question. So,
excited
it's
na.
gonna be exciting.
Lance.
Mabuti naman
what's
ako.
up?
Ayan. I'm good. Doing well. Yes.
Ganda lang. May Claro, what's up?
Stepanks na ako from sports. Well, dati ba? Yeah.
Sepanks.
Yes. And I am Jay. So we're gonna do this or what?
We are.
Let's go. So ito yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Well, of course, before the pandemic, diba? Before all of this happened, we got to experience one of the best masasabi nating spectacles or experience na mararanasan ng isang sports fan dito sa Pilipinas because of the hosting of the 2019 Southeast Asian Games, diba, dito sa Pilipinas. So, sports fans got to witness a lot of sports. Bukod pa dun sa mga usual na napapanood nila, of course, basketball and volleyball and so on. Ayan, personal experience din, marami na akong na-cover na ibang sports from taekwondo, from judo, from archery, tapos yung pinaka-machong sport na na-cover ko na hindi ko makakalimutan, rhythmic gymnastics. Grabe. Imagine me talking about gracefulness, flexibility,
so testosterone
rhythm. Exactly.
Bagay, Sir Jay.
Exactly, di ba? I cannot imagine. Hinahanap ko nga yung feed na yun. Wala na.
Bagay kasi balance beam.
And then when you deliver the words, you have to also flow with it and dance.
Yun nga eh. Kailangan pakulutin mo yung boses mo.
Double axel.
Look at that somersault.
Yes. Amazing.
It reminds me, like rhythmic gymnastics. If I may, sir. Kim Bokju weightlifting fairy. There's an athlete there, a character into rhythmic gymnastics. Yeah. But Sir Jake, can I ask you something? Since, of course, you're involved in the PBA circuit, basketball, Was it hard, You're not saying bang or anything.
Yun that's a challenging part eh. Kasi you have to change your tone eh. Kaya nga di ba, pag narinig mo yung rhythmic gymnastics, yung narinig mo pa ang ganda ng tunog ng rhythmic gymnastics, very ballet ang dating, di ba? So di mo nasabing 3 points, bang!
And so the somersault,
bang! Look at the triple axel, bang!
Sa isa pa, bawal ang maingay doon habang nagpe-perform, di ba?
It's a bit like golf where people have to be a bit quiet.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, pero golf commentators murmur. Let me just say.
Soft lang.
Yes.
Pero going back, a lot of sports we've witnessed, pero for sure, there are some sports that we find it really hard to appreciate. Na kahit ano ang gawin mo, kahit pag-aralan mo siya, basahin mo yung rules, panoorin mo ng paulit-ulit, even play it in itself, still really find it hard to love that sport. Mahirap pa rin siya ibigin, mahirap siya unawain, mahirap siya i-appreciate. Now, the question is, what are the sports that you find it hard to appreciate?
Yeah.
Let's start. Ladies first. Claudia.
Wow.
Random,
Wow, random to. Pero
random.
Hard to appreciate,
Force random.
Dapat may draw next time, may live draw pa rin.
Oo nga. Favoritism to.
Digital cambiolo.
Since I am a basketball player, I played basketball since I was 8 years old. Netball. I cannot appreciate netball. Ang hirap ng game. How can you not dribble a ball? Like, how can you not dribble a ball? And then, the passing pa, bawal pa yung long pass. Kailangan below 3 feet ang pasan. Diba? May offside. So, yun. That's my answer. I cannot appreciate. And I lived in Australia. And
Yun nga, that's the irony. You live in
Exactly.
Australia.
They're into that stuff to a certain extent.
Yeah.
That is one of the most masasabi natin pinakaabang ang sports sa Commonwealth Games, di ba?
Correct. Tapos wala pang backboard.
Pero
that's a separate topic pa rin, ha?
Hirap doon.
But if anything, I'm with you on that one.
Netball.
Netball. Kasi isa pa, the netball is for sure, sports fans, if you're looking for thrills, if you're looking for yung continuity, yung tuloy-tuloy na yung rhythm mabilis na unti-unti na di ba? Sa basketball, makikita mo yun. Sa football, makikita mo yun na tuloy-tuloy na, bilis-bilis na no? Sa netball, hindi, di ba? Once you've seen that ball running from the other end of the goal, punta dun sa center third, punta dun sa other third, biglang pag nandun ka na dun sa isushoot mo na yung bola, mapapatigil ka Kailangan nakaplat yung dalawang paa mo Tapos ititira mo di ba?
Walang layup.
Very disruptive.
You can't go Kyrie, no?
No, wala one-on-one plays.
It would be impossible to get 100 points in a netball game. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Tapos walang defensive kasi mga defensive plays kasi only one person or two people could play defense. Hirap nun. So that's my answer.
It's okay. It's very difficult lang din kasi I know a lot of friends who play netball apparently. Kaya I'm sorry Michelle Datuwin. I'm sorry Michiko Castañeda. We're friends pero I'm with Claudia Perain. I'm having a hard time appreciating netball.
Baka palaruin tayo niyan,
Trying out a new sport is always fun.
Yeah.
So, Claudia, anything else? Netball lang?
Appreciate yung iba. I'll talk about weird sports. Iba yun If I appreciate, weird curling sports is one. Like curling,
curling is fun. I would defend curling, but
you would defend curling?
Yes, I would defend curling.
You can.
It's like glorified Holland,
Okay. No, okay. It's a weird. I can say it just two buttons. Like, it's a weird sport. If it's a weird sport, pero
where can you get a sport wherein you learn how to hit the target, number one, and number two, observe cleanliness. So that's curling. Diba?
Sweepers.
Diba? I'm fascinated with the mechanics of those sweepers because sometimes they go slow and then sometimes they go fast. So for an untrained person, parang you would think na, ano ginagawa itong mga naglilinis na to? May alikabok ba dun sa harap ng Pero
may insekto ba dun?
Yun nga, there's a science behind the sweeping that would enable you to have the nearest curl on the center. Kaya it's a tense game if I may say. No wonder nobody's laughing when they do that. So, ayun,
Ito, Lawrence, how will you commentate curling?
Okay.
Nice challenge.
Diba?
And the curl has been released. We are now at a 5-meter line, and De La Cruz and Manzano are still sweeping. The curl is getting faster and faster as it approaches the target. And now they have slowed down. And now they have reached the target and they have moved the curl of the other team. What a great effort by the trio.
Tapos kailangan yung speed ng sweep nila.
Well, if you want to put some lessons into it, kaya kayo mga bata, nakita nyo man silang dalawa, naglilinis sila. So kayo, pag gising nyo sa umaga, ganyan din ang gagawin nyo sa kwarto nyo.
Bago kayo mag-hole.
Well, that's a good concept. That's a good concept na incorporate mo yung yung house values, no? Yung values ng mga bata na ng halaga ng paglilinis. Pero if anything, curling, if you look it on the surface, it really looks stupid I don't know. It must be cultural differences because we're not used to it. Yes. It looks stupid on the surface, but tama si Lawrence. So once you studied it, and kung alam yung concept, and if you've experienced playing it, can imagine how difficult is to make yung release mo dun sa curl. Yung very precise. Kasi Yun nga, the number one skill that you have to apply in curling is yung precision. And that is very, very difficult.
Sobra.
Okay.
Alam mo yung napaka-intense nung mukha nung mga nagre-release ng curl.
May hawak.
Baby.
Oh.
It's a tight game.
Alam mo, parang masyado malamya yung police nila. Parang gumagano'n yung daliri. And they just... It's like they're blowing pixie dust. Parang,
Yun pa eh. And you can imagine, no, kung halimbawa yung naghahagis ng curl, may pasmado rin eh. No?
Imagine na release ka ng patagal.
Tsaka yung postura niya masakit sa tuhod.
Yes.
Kasi ba di ba parang awkward nung kneel niya, di ba? Parang naka-stretch siyang ganyan. Tapos feeling ko may gulong dun sa isang knee eh. Kasi hindi pwedeng sumadsad dun eh. So habang umuusad siya dun sa surface, may gulong din siya dun sa isang tuhod eh.
Yun pa, sakit din nun. Nakasquat ka. Ang sakit din nun.
So those are my
maybe.
Okay.
Sorry, Claudia, pero I'm not on you on this one.
Okay.
I find some appreciation in curling.
Pero going back to netball, masabi ko lang. Yung the most fascinating thing about netball is the moment when the player is about to shoot the ball. I wonder what's going on through their mind. Why do you have to stop? Or are they thinking about their family?
Exactly.
And then as they release the ball, there's this one defender who's trying to jump. Diba? There are still defenders who are trying to stop the shooting.
Those are the goalkeepers.
They're goalkeepers. Pero parang they couldn't touch for some reason. Either they cannot touch the ball.
Non-contact.
You know what's the actual rule on that? They have to be a meter or a feet apart dun sa goal attacker or dun sa goal scorer.
Correct.
So wala talagang contact ang netball. That's why we find it really hard to appreciate, lalo na tayo mga Pilipino. Number one sport natin dito is basketball.
Correct.
Kasi hindi maiwasin comparison eh.
Correct.
Yeah, contact sport.
Imagine mo si Tim Duncan naglalaro ng hirap ng people.
Well, if Tim Duncan plays netball, then that would be the champion team because he doesn't have to jump. He'll just put his hand over the ring.
His shot might be too strong.
Baka mag-dunk siya masira. Yung poste mismo.
Kaya I remember this time. Actually, na-cover ko sila Michelle Datuin sa sila Michiko Castañeda. 2015 SEA Games. Covered their game, Philippines. Tapos ang kalaban nila, I think it was Brunei or Malaysia, na they were really pummeled because yung goal scorer ng kalaban nila, it's either Malaysia or Brunei, or I don't remember, is 6'6".
Wow.
Napakataas.
Junmar nila yun.
Junmar talaga. So, pag inangat niya yung kamay niya, so wala nang say yung goalkeeper doon. Very easy.
Oh man. Yeah.
And that's the reason. And that's the reason kaya sa umaabot talaga yung score ng netball sa hundreds, posible. Even though they only score 1 point, posible.
1 point per basket.
Yeah.
Tama, no?
So, yun, sa akin. So, netball and curling.
Pero you mentioned that the rule, I didn't know this. You mentioned the rule that the goalkeeper must be 1 meter, at least 1 meter apart.
Yes, they have a separation.
So again, going back to your social relevance, it's a perfect sport for the COVID-19 situation because you have to maintain social distancing.
Yes!
Non-contact sport kasi.
Non-contact.
Look at that goalkeeper maintaining social distancing while playing the sport he loves.
Pwede. We can ask that to the we can ask that to the IATF.
IATF.
There's two things that she wouldn't get right now. Defend the ball and coronavirus.
Maybe it can be an extra cliche. You have these cliches, pop culture, integration into sports.
Pwede, no?
So maybe, in sports in general, not just netball, when you see that the defender is giving a lot of space, regardless, you can just say it's social distancing.
Tapos na ang defensive player of the year.
But that would be very difficult. Siguro sensitivity issues na.
Tama.
So, Claudia has netball and curling.
Yes.
So, what about you, Lance Fernandez?
Well, so we define sports every event that took place in the last SEA Games. Okay, so that's how I see it. And the one thing that I don't see any reason behind, or I find it hard to defend is obstacle course racing.
What?
Yes.
You gotta be kidding me, man.
It's so fun.
What?
Yes, it's so fun. But is there a need for it?
Nawala si Claro.
Parang how do you qualify for it? How do you what are the qualifications of the athletes? I understand. I get your point where you're coming from. Pero parang who can do it? And then what type of course do you have to do? So it's like American Ninja Warrior wherein you have to go through a course and that. Yun lang.
Exactly.
I just don't see the need.
You don't enjoy American Ninja Warrior?
I do enjoy, but it's an individual sport. Yeah.
Naglaro ka ba nung bata ng obstacle race?
Yan nga eh. Yun nga yung isa kong nagtatay. If it's an obstacle race, how come there's no sacks wherein they put their bodies inside? That's the obstacle course racing that I grew up with. That's why I couldn't.
That's parlor games. That's parlor.
I couldn't identify with this current so competitive obstacle course racing because before, parang when you say obstacle course racing, it's track race and then there's the tires and then you have to crawl through mud.
Yes.
Well, I just don't see the need for that sport. Need in a sense that, well, I find it hard that it's a medal sport. Well, I'm not the regulating body. Pero, yun. How do you qualify for it? How do you become part of the national team? Who sets, yun lang, it's, alam mo yun, the platform is there. Parang everything else is very vague for me. Especially when, how do you become a part of the national team of that sport. Yun.
Pero you have to remember, pag mga multi-sport event, this is a showcase of physical strength and skills. Obstacle course, if anything, showcase, parang all around na siya eh. Merong strength doon. Whole body strength yun. Upper body, lower body, and everything. Speed din, kailangan mo rin doon kasi you want to beat the clock, di ba?
Yep.
And again, that word, precision, kasi it's an obstacle course. I mean, so you kailangan mo ring, you have to pay attention din on all the obstacles that you're running through. Kasi pag tinamaan ka nga naman ng isang bar doon, o kaya kapos yung talon mo, edi dapa ka na, injured ka pa, bawas pa yung oras mo. So I mean, and it's fun kasi hindi siya disruptive eh. Actually, yun lang naman siguro yung problema ko in any sport. Disruptive. You just, if you're a sports fan, you don't want any disruption in the action. Obstacle course offers no disruption whatsoever in the game and the action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would love to do an obstacle course.
Yeah, especially after watching Global Guts as a kid. Diba?
I would
always wanted to be part of that.
Global Guts, yeah.
Super aggro crag, climbing up that.
The rope,
yeah.
But if you're going to have like a national qualifiers for obstacle course racing, something that I would love to have. Okay. National qualifiers so that you'll have the opportunity to represent the country in international competitions. Let's make it Filipino obstacle course. So sack race, tires, and then you have to carry two pails, and then walk 10 meters or 10. That's the obstacle course.
Tapos may yung may spoon at saka itlog.
Yes, spoon and calamansi. And then you have to weave through bottles of Coke.
Yes.
Then go back. So that's the obstacle course I grew up with.
And you have to climb up a bamboo pole.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's grease.
So that's how we have to determine our competitors for the sport.
Tapos sa dulo, kakain ka ng pulveron.
Yes.
And then you have to whistle.
You have to whistle and then you have to say a catchphrase like "Happy Birthday, Claudia" or something.
Ganon.
Yes.
Party games.
That's how I would like to see it.
Ultimate show of strength and skill nga yun.
Maybe that will be our American football, big sport locally, but it's not an Olympic sport.
No.
It would be exciting to cover, yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Nahulog yung itlog niya.
Nahulog
Drops it, so you have to go back to the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Right?
Yes, correct. From
So,
the start.
ayan, obstacle course.
Yes.
Lawrence.
I just find it siguro my exposure right now with obstacle course racing, as a lot of sports fans also would be, is not yet that deep, so that I could not appreciate it too much.
Okay.
Okay.
That's you.
You
Yun
can
lang?
understand it from the
Obstacle.
surface.
Oh,
It's like how
obstacle
people appreciate maybe basketball and volleyball. The points pa lang, you can understand it from the surface. I think that's one reason why Pinoys like those two sports.
Yeah.
But really, obstacle. Man.
No, obstacle course racing with tires.
Oh. So, anything else, Lance?
Nothing else. That's the only sport that I find hard to appreciate. Yeah.
And I still find it hard to believe you hate obstacle.
Yeah.
It's a cool sport, Nick.
Kasi it's something that I can do also. Okay? I might not be fast. I might not be fast through the obstacle course, but I can do it.
Yeah,
okay.
you can do it on the recreational level,
Yes.
like how they have basketball.
Siguro
courts in
the ones
park.
the ones that they use in the SEA Games, siguro it would take me 24 hours to complete, but I can complete. But as compared pero Greco-Roman wrestling ganyan, it's something that I couldn't do because you have to have a certain skill.
Sige.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sige, we somehow feel
The
you.
favorite
Now,
sport of
okay.
Sir Noel.
Okay.
We somehow feel you.
Okay.
So I rest my case. Ayun, obstacle
Okay,
course racing.
Sige. Okay, Claro Manzano, what sport do you find it hard? You find it so hard to appreciate?
Okay, from the get-go, but this is not my final answer. Chess, but I thought about it, maybe cricket.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
no.
Yeah,
No.
because I would watch
Did not
a
say
bit.
the Baltimore word. You did
No.
not say.
I am cutting this podcast. Are you serious?
We
It's
are
a
in our
bit
second
long.
episode only, and it's
Okay.
done.
I will admit.
Finito.
Claro.
Okay.
Claro
Sige,
defend
we'll
your
let,
side.
we'll let you air your voice. Sige, go
Okay,
ahead.
Claro defend.
Okay, I found it a bit confusing. Siguro na bad trip ako because there was no basketball or football or racing, so they were showing cricket. And then this lockdown, I can say that, okay, sat down TV, in front of the TV watching it. I started to understand it a bit. The guy who was fielding wasn't able to reach for the ball, so it went over the fence or yung A-board.
Oh.
So na bad trip siya.
Well,
So
he has understanding.
Boundary. They call it down.
yeah,
boundary.
so I guess medyo parang baseball, but I was kind of struggling to understand it. But again, given it's lockdown, if I watch more, I think I'll be able to understand it. Yeah. And maybe chess also because, I don't know, I suck at it. Strategy game.
I'm with you, Claro.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I know that there are debates for chess and all on should it be considered these games and stuff, but I still respect those athletes. I see it's something tough. It's a whole different game. Yeah.
I don't know about.
But okay, it's not like I'm gonna go to Facebook and bash the two sports because everyone just has their cup of tea. You jump from one sport to another. Maybe UAP. The UAP, it's a multi-sport event that runs for almost I don't know how many months, diba? So you see there some sports have crowds, some sports do not. So it's not the cup of tea of some people, but you can't hate them for that.
Yeah.
Have you seen in speed chess?
Speed chess.
Yeah, if you watch speed chess, you
lower
might.
time limit.
Yeah.
Is that the lower time limit?
Yeah.
You just play through like 3 or 5 boards. One at the same time. One after the other.
One after the other. You might appreciate chess.
Okay.
So ganun,
I saw.
Some speed chess is how the grandmasters train.
It's
Talaga.
believable.
Na parang mag-isa lang sila but they are faced with 5 or 10 chess boards.
Oh, tama yun.
Tapos
Kasi they look at possibilities.
That's how they train.
To push their mental
They look at the probabilities of the board. That's why they train like 5 boards at once. Tama si Jay dun eh.
All of those can possibly happen in a chess match.
Yes. So
it's like going through options in your brain, maybe.
Like if I remember with chess, I was able to appreciate chess. I had this classmate back in high school. Kasi there was intramurals in the school. And he was always board 1. Board 1 is the best. Okay.
Okay.
So, alam mo yun, he is a silent player. He doesn't really talk to the opponent. But I was shocked when he was able to guess the next 5 moves of the opponent just because of looking at the board. Yes. That's
Wow.
That's where para alam mo yun, that's the way he trash talk na. Alam ko gagalaw mo yan.
I know your move.
So syempre, if somebody knows what you're going to do, either you change it on the fly or chicken out because ano bang gagawin ko? Alam niyo na yung gagawin ko eh. So that's where I appreciated chess.
No Kevin Garnett trash talk or anything from him?
No Kevin Garnett trash talk. You could sing while playing chess. That's one way of distraction. Pero siya, yung klasikong yun, and that's where I started to appreciate chess, that it's a game of, really reading the board. And it's not a physical sport, pero it's more of the mind talaga.
Yeah.
So that's why I really consider them athletes, despite the fact that they're not as buff or they're not as jacked up as the other other sports. Yes.
Super have mad respect for them. Yeah. Talaga. But then again,
there's one way actually to make chess exciting.
Okay.
Remember that Spanish football commentator who says, "Goal! Put him in a chess match."
Okay.
Actually,
and he discussed all the moves. Yes.
Go!
There is to jump into that, there is actually a sport called chess boxing.
Oh yes.
Okay, how does that work?
So you play your first round of chess.
Yes.
Second round is boxing.
Yeah.
And then you go back to chess. There is a
best of 3, best of 7.
Yeah, there's a round. And whoever wins is either you get knocked out or checkmate.
So who gets home court?
Wala.
The best of 7.
Yeah.
Maybe you have 4 boxing matches. You have 3 chess matches.
I don't know how many the rounds are.
So to save face, it would be better to lose by checkmate than knockout.
Yes.
Well, at least you don't have to get confined in the hospital.
Yeah, you don't get confined.
You saw how Rocky was rushed to the hospital after going up against the Apollo Creed.
Pero chess boxing, sigurado, pwede kong ilaban dyan si Senator Manny Pacquiao. Chess boxing.
Actually pwede.
Well, as long as you have home court advantage, Sir J. Home court po chess, di ba? In this situation.
As far as I'm concerned, he's a good chess player then, and he talagang kasama sa routine niya yung chess sa training. Yes.
Being mentally tough and everything.
Kaya if you'll put him on chess boxing, just imagine the psyche of the other person. The moment that the chess round is about to end and they have to go to boxing.
Oh my God, please.
Parang if you're the opponent, you wouldn't want the chess round to end.
No, gusto mo na i-checkmate. Gusto mo na i-checkmate
pala. Kasi when it comes to boxing, you don't have a chance.
So, Lord help.
Para sa iyo ang laban na to.
Pero there is chess boxing.
Just like how there's billiards and poker at the same time.
Masaya yun.
There's trick shot billiards also. That caught my attention back then on ESPN.
Mga integrated, innovative.
You see
sports.
stuff like soda glass bottles, and then they spin the ball on top. And that was initiated, of course, by the typical, billiard stick. Speaking of variations of chess, I did have some classmates playing 3D chess. 3 layers. 1,
That's so Big
2,
Bang Theory.
3. So I think pretty much it's chess, but you can move up and down. I don't know if it's a
Rubik's Cube chess
or if it's really
Sheldon Cooper 3D chess.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know where they got the inspiration, but I'm just amazed because my seat.
How do you win? You have to win all 3 levels.
All 3 levels?
If I recall correctly, it's the same number of pieces, but you just have more leeway. Oh no, he's gonna eat me on level 2. I'm going up to level 3. I don't know.
So one-on-one pa rin kayo.
Yes,
one-on-one pa rin kayo, but you just have a lot of space to move on. Kasi merong dalawang pang dimension.
If I can recall correctly.
Meron pang third dimension pala, I mean.
Or if you have, or they only had 1 set of pieces, or maybe they had 2. But still, the fact that there's a third chessboard gives you more leeway.
So pwede kang bumaba.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it worked in a nutshell when I was talking to my classmates back then. Yeah.
So yung king pwede bumaba sa basement.
Something like that. Yeah, I think one floor at a time lang. Siguro, no?
You can be demoted 1 floor and then go up again.
Yeah. I don't
You're
know
in the doghouse.
I don't know if there's that piece where all of a sudden you can jump from A to Z or Z to A. Like how
Oh.
Maybe when the pawn reaches the other side of the board. Di ba ganun yun? Di ba?
It's
So
that
you have an
Nag-hero
extra
anyo.
queen.
Bago ang queen.
Game of the
teleports into-
generals. You put your flag on the other side, and
Yes.
then you win.
Oh.
That's similar to chess also. Yeah.
Yes.
Pero sandali nadadalas tayo sa chess, Claro, pero there are two cricket fans here that
Oh gosh,
for sure
yes.
will not forget what you said earlier.
Yes.
That you don't appreciate cricket. Now let these two guys make you appreciate cricket. So
time out muna.
let's
just say
time out ka.
Let's just say you guys take me to a live cricket game. I wouldn't mind. I'd still have fun. The atmosphere and everything. Like,
may beer.
I'm
Wow.
not super up to speed with NFL.
Yeah.
I don't really support the team, but I've been wanting to go to an NFL game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something like that. I will. Yeah. I'm
I
not a
think-
basher.
I
of
think
the
we have
sports.
I think we have a consensus naman na kapag nagpunta naman tayo sa live event o sa live venue ng isang game, doesn't matter what sport it is, we're gonna have a great time naman.
Correct.
Ano naman, kahit dance sport pa yan.
Oo.
Ano naman.
Oo.
Okay, so that's what you don't. That's what you don't like, Lawrence, or not your cup of tea.
Dance sport? No, it's
Yeah?
okay. Yes.
Okay.
Kahit nag-rhythmic
Kaya naman yun.
gymnastics si Jay,
Oh.
papanoorin ko pa rin.
Baka mapasayaw ka pa dun sa sayaw nila sa dance sport. Pag,
Can you imagine Sir Jay dancing to that? Yeah.
Okay, so mabalik tayo sa cricket.
Okay.
Yep, let's go. Cricket, go guys. Grill me for not liking the sport you want.
Pero ito I will say this. I will side on Claro on this. However,
okay.
however,
Prepare to go down.
Wait. However, it is because of my personal ignorance in cricket. I don't know how the game is played. I don't know how will you know one team will win, one team will lose. I don't understand why is it played 2 or 3 days.
5
or 5 days. I don't really understand.
That's one reason also.
Yeah, there are 5-day matches.
5-day match.
I heard the rules were adjusted. There's like a short form game.
There's a 1 day or
X amount of hours.
Yeah, there's 1 day international. There's 2020. So those are shorter forms.
Oh,
so it's just on my ignorance of the sport. Kaya di ko masasabing I don't appreciate it. But again, it's just my ignorance of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So give your short versions or short takes on it, Claudia and Lance.
Okay, one thing about cricket. Where have you seen a sport that has a tea time in between? It allows you to drink tea and have breaks.
May lunch pa yun.
May lunch yun, yes.
Sa
diba, you're playing and then you can eat at the middle. Okay. I guess yung napanood ni Claro na cricket, that's a test match. So test match are the longer ones. Yun yung maabot ng 5 araw. Well, those games can be dragging. Especially when you watch the Ashes, mga test match. Yes.
They're the best.
Oh
my gosh.
They are intense because of the longevity. And because the longevity can also take a toll on you. Kasi parang 5 araw na ako naglalaro, mananalo ba kami? Diba? So yun yung that's the
can imagine the agony.
Diba? We are now in our 4th day and we're still behind by like 100 runs.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yes, diba?
Yes.
It's like waiting for the It's like waiting for the board exam or bar exam result after you've taken that exam, no? The agony of waiting.
Yes.
Yeah.
That agony sucks. Yeah, of course.
Well, how do you basically play cricket? Well, one batter that goes out, that's equivalent to 1 inning. Parang ganyan siya.
So, sige, go Claro. Lawrence.
Okay. So, and every time, one more exciting part about cricket is whenever they bowl somebody out or whenever they catch the ball. Just see their faces screaming at the top of their lungs. Okay? Even though they haven't brushed their teeth for 5 days because they've been playing the same match.
Yeah.
Diba?
You know, that's the part that I actually love. The passion of the players when they achieve something big. It's like yung kapag hindi tinamaan ng paddle yung bola or like pag nasalo nila. I don't understand why.
I love the game.
Pero they really celebrate it hard like parang nanalo sila sa loto.
And it's actually a numbers game also.
Yes.
So if you're into statistics, if you're into analyzing the game, it is a sport to watch. And it's because there's like 11 batters Diba? Tas may bowlers pa. There's a fast bowler, there's a spin bowler. It's a very intrinsic or ba sport. That's what you watched, Claro. So siguro when the batter hit it hit the boundary. Kapag dire-diretso siya, if it's just going straight, it's a 4. If it goes over the boundary, it's a 6.
Okay.
6 points,
Okay.
yes, when it reaches the boundary. Okay.
And then if kunyari the batter hits it, kasi when the batter hits it, you have to run to your other end. So kailangan, there's 2 batters, no? So
Yes.
dito this is the one being pitched or bowled to. Kunyari tinamaan to. They have to switch. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Twice,
Sige.
ganon. So
Sige,
how many, depending on how far you hit the ball or you bat the ball, is how many times you could run. Yeah. So ganon.
Okay, sige.
So,
I get that.
And then you could, and to get out is either you take out the wicket, right? So it could be, you could bowl, the person could bowl and then natamaan yung wicket. Or the person bowls, tinamaan yung, the batter hit the ball, tas nasa low, just like baseball where it didn't bounce out. Or what you call the LBW, which is leg before wicket.
Yes.
Which is actually
Wicket, yes.
Which is one of the most
That's a very tricky one. Yes.
That's the trickiest out. Yeah. So if you miss the ball,
yes, that's the trickiest.
Yeah, if you miss the ball and it hits your pad, the umpire, the one on the other side of the end of the pitch, or can't call you out because the trajectory of the ball is can hit the back of the wicket or the stubs.
Yep.
Ganon. Another one is a run out. Yung just like baseball, before you hit the base, na catch na ng catcher and then natamaan.
Yeah, that's why they stretch out their cricket bats.
Yeah.
Because that's how they determine if you've reached the other side.
Yeah.
They stretch out the cricket.
It's actually a very, to be honest, I didn't enjoy it when I first lived in Australia. But one day, Saiko, you know what? I will give at least 30 minutes. Because I was doing my thesis on sports. I was doing my thesis. And then they were just screaming. And tama si Lawrence, they were screaming because, the players were caught out. So what is this? I looked around and sat down, and 30 minutes became 2 hours, became 3 hours. And I enjoyed it. I got hooked. You could get hooked with cricket. Yeah, super.
Yeah, especially the teams like India, Pakistan. They're the most, and even West Indies. They are
gods.
the most
They
emotional.
love their cricket.
Yeah.
They are the most emotional when it comes to bowled out or when it comes to outs. They really shout at the top of their lungs.
They're gods. Yes.
If you've been doing it for 5 days and you haven't achieved that thing, diba? Then on that 4th or 5th day, nagawa mo na, you've been trying it for 5 days, nagawa mo na. Of course, any sport perhaps can have that
correct. Hi, salamat! Oh, thank you. You're gonna.
We won.
There's 2 innings. Also, there's 2 innings. So it's not like baseball.
2 innings pa.
2 innings, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My goodness.
That's
So innings is
combination of
dependent on how many batters you can put out. Yeah.
Sarap ng cricket.
And then sometimes, ito ba yung yung when the bowler is already screaming, he's thinking that it's already leg before wicket, and then the umpire would be just nonchalant, like poker face lang, and then he says
no,
so it's not an out.
Because you could also convince the umpire or while you're screaming, come on, ganon. Promise.
Saan ka nakita ng umpire? Saan ka nakita ng official na hinahawakan yung sombrero ng manlalaro?
Oo.
So that's the bowler. Minsan hawak nila yung hawak nila yung
unofficial
bowler,
challenge.
yung nagbabato ng bola.
That's physical contact.
Hindi, out
That's
of
technical
courtesy.
foul.
Yeah.
Out of courtesy,
Normally,
they do that.
from the sports,
the umpire holds
familiar
a
with.
cap.
It's actually a gentleman's game. That's what they call it. Yeah. So. Galing. Tapos the ball pa, how they, diba, may spinner. Diba, there's a ball. The ball is actually pretty hard, you know? And then they have to take out the shine of the other side. yeah, of the ball, and they rub it on their legs. Sometimes it looks very, weird that they're rubbing it on their legs. So there's so many tactics. Galing the strategy of cricket. Ako, I appreciate it. One of my top 5 sports to watch.
Perhaps siguro pag dumating ako doon sa point ni Claudia na I will be forced to watch cricket because of for academic reasons, tulad yan, gumagawa ng thesis. Siguro that's the time na ma-appreciate ko yung cricket. Pero if I just do it for kick siguro,
it would be
I needed a motivation. I needed a big motivation to watch and study and learn cricket.
Well, tea time is always a motivation.
Pagkain.
Pero what I really love
Lawrence loves, huh?
I find it fascinating the first time.
It is
one of the first few matches that I watched cricket on Star Sports pa nun eh. Diba, yan, test match, tagal. Tapos, the players are already leaving the field, the pitch. And then the announcer is, we will have a 15-minute tea time. Parang ako, wow, they get to drink tea at the middle of the game, and then they go back.
Wait. I have one question.
It's so generous. It's so generous that they allow you to have a break at the middle. Diba? Would you see a in the middle of a basketball game halftime? Ginebra San Miguel drinking tea at the middle.
I have a question
drinking
though.
Beer.
So before I go back with Claro. Yung tea time na yun, are they allowed to socialize with each other? Because if you're drinking tea, of course, the next thing on having a tea party is socializing with people, regardless kung kalaban mo o kampi mo. Then you'll talk about, what a lovely day we have here. I can just imagine.
Mas may ganyan pa no? Only the team. Only the team.
So part din ng siguro yan. Part din ng strategizing nila. Okay. So Claro, ayun, cricket and chess, yun yung mo. Those are the sports that you find it hard to appreciate. Yeah. Okay. So it's my turn now to tell what sport I find it hard to appreciate. I have this netball. I have netball. Cricket, it's an exception to my list because of my ignorance on the sport. But this is one thing that I loved it at first, but right now I find it difficult to appreciate at this moment. Una gusto ko siya, pinapanood ko siya, sinusubaybayan ko. Pero ngayon, mahirap na. I find it, really hard to appreciate. And somehow I will push the button of Claro Manzano here because he will hate me for this. Claro Manzano, I find it hard to appreciate racing. Let's make it very specific.
Okay.
F1 racing.
There are plates flying all over the field, ladies and gentlemen. Because of two podcast hosts.
Make me appreciate this one. Sige. The reason, I loved it at first. Make no mistake about it. Na-encounter ko the Schumi brothers, Rubens Barrichello, the Ferrari, Mercedes-Benz, McLaren. Naabutan ko sila. I've watched it, nasubaybayan ko sila. I've loved the tracks. Ang ganda ng atmosphere doon. I've even played the game, sa PC game. But right now, ang naging challenge doon is, actually, it's the downfall. My personal downfall, my personal fall with F1 started. Unang-una kay Juan Pablo Montoya. Because, if I'm not mistaken, he claimed that the only way you could win an F1 race is if your engine has that kick-ass technology. So it doesn't, he alleged it na parang hindi mo mapapakita yung skill mo doon, yung skill mo sa pangangarera on car racing. Hindi mo mapapakita yung diskarte mo. If, ganun nga, kung yung masasabi natin may handicap yung sasakyan mo, which is that yung technology nga. So, F1 racing apparently is not really a battle of drivers but a battle of technology. Diba? Pero, kung tutuusin naman, pare-parehas naman ang itsura ng mga F1 cars, diba? Pare-parehas naman ang design nila, yung aerodynamics nila, diba?
Chinelas.
Tama, diba?
To a certain extent. Oh, that's the new thing, the chinelas on top of the head. That's called the halo for protection. A safety feature.
Diba? Pare-parehas sila ng design Pero again, magkakatalo yan sa makina So again, the technology, like JP Montoya said.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, first, it's nice to hear Juan Pablo Montoya's name again because of the way he entertains you on and off the track. Growing up as
I
a
agree.
kid, the way he really drive the car. I think he's the only guy who spun in a warm-up lap.
He really did? Wow.
Yeah, warm-up. Yeah. He's really the type who would push machinery. Well, wow, kind of lost my train of thought. First, I think when it was my turn, what I like, akala ko, netball na yung final answer ni Sir J. So in my head, yes, okay. So walang racing, specifically Formula 1. Wala yun pala. Bang.
To be honest,
yeah, and you're the best guy to defend this.
Oh man, but Jade, they're the fittest athletes.
No, make no mistake.
Kasi you have to factor in your weight also to the car.
Yeah,
they're the
test. I have to agree.
I
have to agree.
Yeah.
It's an endurance test.
Super.
Kaya, di ba nga, special accessories pa nga nila sa uniform nila, di ba? Those straws.
Parang.
Andun yung, doon sila umiinom, di ba?
Yeah.
That's a 2-hour race. Again, it's an endurance test.
Yeah.
Mahirap talaga yon. At saka isa pa, kung paikot-ikot lang din sa lap na yon, nakakasawa kaya. If you let me drive, NASCAR is
Good point, Claudia.
Yeah.
Okay,
NASCAR is one.
That's Indy 500.
I can kind of defend. First, I can kind of defend Indy and NASCAR in a certain way. Because first, again, for racing, that's not really like the type of racing series that I super appreciate or really follow. Because they're just going in ovals. But back then, in grade school, I was looking for the newest racing game there. What is in time zone? Not gonna lie. I'm not lying. And I saw NASCAR. Okay. So I got into it. It's racing around in ovals. I think yung load ko naubos dun. The time zone card. That was fun. Because first with the oval sports or racing in general, you might think it's quite boring. But you appreciate it the moment you get to sit in a simulator or even in an arcade. Because I could say I first set foot into a go-kart at the age of 7. First time to go karting. And my brother was 10. So first, I was hella scared. I'm already driving something, right? And I'm far from being a grown-up. Second, nainis ako. Why?
Bakit?
Ang bagal ko. My kuya almost lapped me. Pero since it was our first time, no overtaking, okay? So, first one thing is when you're racing, you have that drive. You want to be a perfectionist. Oh no, I did not get this certain corner right. So the next time I go around, I want to do it again. Oh no, I couldn't do it. A simple thing, I don't know, for me, it's just a recreational go-karter. Every time I pass by this certain corner, I wasn't able to nail it. So there's that slight frustration. So babawi ka throughout the lap. And then when you're back, it's another chance. There's always a chance to improve. So that's that's the perspective I see first. Being able to set foot inside the car. The second thing is racecraft. I feel I was amazed by cars. How are they able to do that? These guys, all these F1 drivers, they have these kamikaze dives. They come from behind, so that's what's really nice. These guys are in slow and fast corners. How are they able to do it? How are they able to stay side by side? Kasi go-kart racing, kami mga recreational racers, not even high level. We can't even do that. We're so happy when you get an overtaking opportunity already. So I think that's one thing. I have to admit also, Sir J, racing is a TV sport. So if you're there at the racetrack, to somewhat let things go full circle, to check another box.
Yun nga.
Because you've been watching it on TV, and then you're there already. I can remember the first time I saw a Formula One car. I still remember it as a Virgin Racing car. Because I could hear it. It was just one car. Medyo nakakabingi in Malaysia. I ran up already to the grandstand because I wanted to see it for the first time. So that's one thing I can say with racing. When you set foot into racing, whatever it may be, you'll start to get a different feeling. I admit also, okay, I'm a big Sebastian Vettel fan. Ferrari.
Oh, he moved.
Yeah. When he was winning in Red Bull, I admit I wasn't really watching as much.
Okay.
Natikilan ka.
No, siya yung Ateneo de Manila Blue Eagles ng F1 panahon niya. He would win every single time. I'm not kidding you.
What Ateneo basketball are you referring to here?
Tab Baldwin Ateneo.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Not Norman Black, right? No,
Not the John Virayo and Brandon
you can count
Season
Norman
era.
Black also. There's some parallels. Yeah.
Okay.
No, because tumbak palagi eh. You're halfway through the lap. Oh no, Vettel's gonna win. Yep. Because you weren't seeing that action anymore.
But it's the same thing with when Michael Schumacher was playing. But he had good rivals actually.
There were
Kimi Raikkonen, diba?
Kimi Raikkonen, Mika Hakkinen,
Mika Hakkinen.
Yeah, his brother.
They had their challenges.
Good, yes.
Schumacher, went up against Fernando Alonso. Vettel didn't really have that.
No.
Yeah, but you have the pit stops and everything. The strategy, the science also applies there, Sergey.
Yes, the science of a pit stop.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I like also.
I agree.
I agree.
I understand it too. Kasi what makes it interesting pa is kung pag nagbago yung weather.
Yon, change the tires.
Yes.
You have to change
That's
your
like
tires.
Change tires and change overall strategy.
Yes.
Overall strategy.
In how many pit stops, how many, diba?
Tapos even yung load mo sa crudo, on your gas, in your fuel, load sa fuel, you have to factor in. Kasi if you load so much, natural, babagal ka kasi bibigat yung load sa sasakyan mo.
Yes.
So, kailangan i-factor lahat yan. So, go ahead, Claro.
Well, I think, Sir Jay, early 2000s, you're allowed to refuel the cars. So that gave you more leeway in strategy. One thing you really like from the science is that, oh no, I'm starting at the back, so I will put the car in full tank. I'm going to have to drive all the way. One stop while cars in front are coming up with two stops. So may discarded dun. That's nice. Parang there's a chess match also in the midst of everything. Yeah. And just to close things, that was a concern also with Formula One, was that they weren't really, they were losing their following, they could say. And they wanted to bring in new followers. So what did they do? Formula One Drive to Survive on Netflix. These are things we never saw before because they're saying the sport was so exclusive. We want to open it up. We want to show the drama and everything. It's like a reality show behind the scenes. So, although Lewis Hamilton keeps winning over and over again,
that's the big.
You still see all the drama. Like they're making such a big deal over fourth place, things like that.
Yeah.
So there, you see the drama. Daniel Ricciardo, he transferred and he's not even in the top team.
No, I'm so sad.
I like that.
I love Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
I like him as a driver.
Yeah,
really funny person.
Yeah, very nice. But I think to add lang before I go back to you, Jay, is I watched twice the Australian Albert Park. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
yes. I love that track. I love that.
Albert Park. And see, Lewis Hamilton then was a rookie, so goes to show.
Man.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
it was good, but you get fatigue. Yung sound fatigue, grabe.
Yes.
You get so tired. You won't even want to finish the race kasi pagod ka. But the good thing is, if you're just like the mga general if tapos na yung race, you could actually run to the racetrack. Then see the podium. Ganun.
Kaya nga that's why they made it hip eh. Especially sa Singapore, yung gimmick ng Singapore. They made it really hip that after the race, the actual race, di ba may pa-concert?
Yeah.
So
Singapore yata is the only night race.
Night race.
Yes,
well, they were the first.
Yes.
Then others started to follow. Yeah.
Kaya yun. I just find it really difficult for nawala yung appreciation ko sa racing kasi because of that, yung narrative na pinresent ni JP Montoya. So yun lang yun. Although it is a difficult sport, I'd love it. I really understand how it is done. I can imagine the thrill of the tech crews, that the ones in the pits, yung nagmo-monitor, the radio guys. I can imagine the thrill that they're having, yung intensity.
Yes.
Diba? When the drivers and the tech guys are monitoring the time and the opponents, whenever they have disagreement. Diba? Kaya nga, maganda yung ginawa ng FIA, yung broadcast dun, diba? That they, yung parang nag-wire tap na sila. Doon sa team radio.
Yes. And
that's a good...
you see,
yes.
nasa-stress yung mga race engineers because, we're slowing down, sira na yung strategy namin. Another thing, Sir Jay, with the cars, they may look identical, pero they have these differences here and there, maliit lang, that maybe some diehards eventually get into. Yeah, then you start to see, Ferrari, mabilis sa straight. Mercedes, they're quick in corners. So who's going to win? So that's something that could give you a different perspective. Who will prevail? Yes.
So yun nga, parang in the end talaga, it's not really, masasabi na it's not really the drivers who are winning the race. It's the engineers or the scientists who develop nung engine nung isang team. Ganun lang naman yung perspective ko.
Dominantly, yes. Yeah. But the driver, still has to, be able to find that bearing in the car. That's why you saw galing ng Red Bull. But Pierre Gasly was demoted because he was not able to get most out of the car. So in the second place, si Max Verstappen. The 9th place siya. Yeah. But if you want, maybe, Sir Jay, I can recommend, if you want to get back into racing, check out Formula 3. Yes. Formula 3. That's
gusto ko magbalik loob sa racing.
The younger you go, or like the younger categories, you'll see identical cars or almost identical. Yep.
Bring back to racing.
Pero
the best will stand out, I assure you.
Pero let me say this, even though we've already presented our case on the sport that we find a hard time appreciating. You have to remember, mga spectators tayo, mga nanonood lang tayo. But if we actually, doon pa lang sa pagpunta sa actual game, doon sa live venue, iba na yung experience kasi madadala ka na rin ng crowd. What if, kung ikaw pa yung nandun sa exact sport na yon, sa case ni Claudia, ikaw siguro yung naglalaro netball, assistant coach ka ng netball. Kung si Lance, siya naman yung spotter sa obstacle course. Siya yung timekeeper doon. Team niya yung naglalaro doon. Diba? Tapos, pag nakikita niya, may possibility na mabibit yung oras, baka siya na rin yung magtatalon doon. Sige, i-motivate niya yung teammate niya. Tapos, go, kaya mo yan. Or sa side naman ni Claro, kung halimbawa yung siya na yung naglalaro ng cricket, siya na yung papalo. Diba?
Okay.
Or in my case, ako naman yung nakikipagkarera, di ba? Once we actually play that game, I am sure iba yung appreciation na mararamdaman natin sa
no doubt.
Yeah.
I'd like to try it.
Agree.
Kaya ang magandang encouragement dito, doesn't matter kung anong edad ka, doesn't matter if you're a kid, if you're old enough, or kung talaga matanda ka na. If you have this opportunity to engage in a sport, please do take it.
Correct.
Pero that's Claudia's take, that's Lance's take, that's Claro's take. Those are the sports. Then it's also my take. These are the sports that we don't appreciate. You have heard it. I don't know. But hey, who the heck are we? Diba? Claudia, babatiin.
Yes, I would like to thank Broad for my new mic.
New mic.
New mic. Yes.
Lance, babatiin, promote.
Well, I do have another podcast. Limahan.
Sige.
So anchor.fm/limahan. So it's purely basketball, and then I just comment on the issues. So it's a one-man show, and I just comment on issues, give them a different perspective.
Yes. Claro. Sige, go ahead, Lance.
Sige.
Limahan lang, okay. Sige, Claro.
Thank you, Cuts Apparel, for my shirt. Yep. You need your face masks or your custom gear, even PPEs. Yeah, Cuts Apparel.
Yeah.
Okay, and for me, Jay De La Cruz, trip sa traffic. Ay, magka-guess na ako sa wakas. Nakakabiyahe na.
Good,
Okay,
good.
guys. So, tapos dito ulit papasok yung scoring. Mag-fade na tayo. Fade na. Datas yung scoring and go. Yan.
Who the heck are we? Yeah.
Ooh,
Stop.
Cue music.
Okay.